Let's start with what science can definitively explain. The core experience people describe, waking up unable to move, feeling pressure on the chest, sensing a malevolent presence, has a clinical name: sleep paralysis with hypnagogic hallucinations. This occurs during the transition between wakefulness and REM sleep, when your brain is awake but your body remains paralyzed to prevent you from acting out your dreams. During this vulnerable window, the brain can generate incredibly vivid hallucinations that feel absolutely real. The sensation of suffocation? That's genuine too. The paralysis affects your intercostal muscles and diaphragm, making breathing difficult and triggering panic. What makes these experiences so terrifying is their hyperreality. The brain isn't just creating vague shapes, it's constructing complete sensory experiences that feel more real than waking reality. This biological explanation provides a solid foundation, but as we'll see, it doesn't account for everything people report experiencing. Here's where things get truly fascinating. While sleep paralysis explains the sleeper's experience, what about the witnesses? In the account from our source article, a husband didn't just hear his wife struggling, he saw a funnel of smoky energy pouring into her open mouth. This moves us beyond individual hallucination into shared perception territory. Could this be what parapsychologists call shared hallucination, where emotional resonance creates similar visions? Or might there be something more substantial being perceived? Witness accounts consistently describe similar visual phenomena: shadowy figures, misty forms, energy streams. The consistency across different witnesses who aren't communicating with each other suggests something beyond random brain misfiring. This witness phenomenon challenges purely materialistic explanations and opens the door to considering that during these vulnerable sleep states, we might be perceiving realities that normally remain hidden from our waking consciousness. What's particularly compelling about the incubus phenomenon is how universal it is across cultures and throughout history. From the old hag of Newfoundland folklore to the Kanashibari of Japan, from the Pasanta of Catalan mythology to the Mara of Scandinavian tradition, virtually every culture has a name and mythology for this exact experience. Anthropologists have documented these accounts for centuries, and the consistency is remarkable. People separated by oceans and millennia describe the same core experience: waking paralyzed, feeling pressure on the chest, sensing a malevolent presence. This cross-cultural consistency suggests we're dealing with something fundamental to the human experience rather than cultural contamination or coincidence. Traditional explanations often involve spiritual entities, energy vampires, or soul predators. Concepts that modern psychology dismisses as superstition, but which might contain metaphorical or literal truths about realities we don't yet understand scientifically. Now let's explore the more esoteric interpretation suggested by our source material. The funnel of energy witnessed flowing into the sleeper's mouth provides a powerful visual metaphor for what might be occurring on a metaphysical level. If consciousness extends beyond the physical body, as many spiritual traditions and modern consciousness researchers suggest, then sleep represents a particularly vulnerable state where our energetic boundaries might weaken. In this view, the incubus experience isn't just a neurological glitch, but an actual encounter with parasitic consciousness or energy entities. The resonance code trilogy referenced in our article expands this personal horror into a cosmic principle, suggesting that what happens in the bedroom mirrors larger metaphysical conflicts. The idea of energy vampirism or soul predation appears in numerous esoteric systems, from shamanic traditions to modern energy work. Whether literal or metaphorical, this perspective offers a framework for understanding why these experiences feel so profoundly violating, and why they often leave people feeling energetically drained for days afterward. Perhaps the most hopeful insight from both clinical and esoteric perspectives is that these experiences can be interrupted and transformed. The husband who witnessed and intervened in our source account provides a perfect example. His protective action didn't just comfort his wife, it fundamentally changed the nature of the experience. From a clinical perspective, physical touch or voice can help someone transition out of sleep paralysis. From an esoteric perspective, the intervention represents breaking isolation and establishing energetic protection. This shift from solitary victimhood to allied guardianship is profoundly important. Practical strategies include establishing pre-sleep protection rituals, maintaining healthy sleep hygiene, learning lucid dreaming techniques to gain control during episodes, and most importantly, breaking the shame and silence that often surrounds these experiences. When people share their stories and support each other, they reclaim power from the phenomenon. So how do we make sense of all this? The most productive approach integrates multiple perspectives without dismissing any. The clinical model explains the biological mechanism, the sleep paralysis and hallucination components. The cross-cultural evidence shows this is a universal human experience worth taking seriously beyond pathology. The witness phenomenon suggests there might be perceivable elements beyond individual psychology, and the metaphysical perspective offers explanatory frameworks for the deeply disturbing, violating quality of these experiences. Rather than forcing an either/, or choice between its just sleep paralysis or its demonic attack, we can hold space for multiple truths simultaneously. This integrated understanding allows us to address the phenomenon practically through sleep science, while honoring the profound existential questions it raises about consciousness, reality, and our place in a potentially multidimensional universe. The Incubus encounter, in this light, becomes a doorway, not just to terror, but to deeper understanding of human consciousness.